Hi everyone, my name is Jeffy Bed the Alien, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV. So, Final Fantasy XIV. What a long, strange trip it's been. I wanted to talk a little bit about this today because I've been playing this a lot recently, and I feel like it would be a great moment to talk a bit more about the game while all the information is still fresh for me. So, for those of you that don't know, I started playing Final Fantasy XIV back in 2014. How convenient. And I did not really enjoy it. I mean, I played a bunch of it, but I got up to around level 30 and went, oh boy, this feels a bit tedious, doesn't it? And then I never touched it again. No, I'm kidding. I came back to it a little bit over time as the years went by, and I only ever came back for bouts of 30 days at a time. Because I would get back into it, I would make some progress, and then I would get distracted by something else, or by the tediousness of the first part of the game, which is probably its biggest downside, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So yeah, for those of you who have been living under a rock on this planet, Final Fantasy XIV is a massively online multiplayer game, kinda like World of Warcraft, that is happening in the Final Fantasy universe, which basically means nothing really, because Final Fantasy always has so many different settings over all of its iterations, and for something called Final Fantasy, there sure are a lot of fantasies. Anyway, my point is, it's a fun game, but there's a lot of ifs and buts about it that I'm gonna go into now. So first, let's start with the good stuff. I feel like, as a fashion connoisseur, Final Fantasy XIV really hits me in the right spots, because this game has an awesome glamour system that allows you to customize your appearance and save appearances up to 15 actually in glamour plates. So you can always customize your look without breaking the bank, because you can change the look of all your items with glamour prisms, which can be very inexpensive depending on what server you're on. And to make things even more economical, you can spend glamour prisms on sending things over to your glamour dresser, which allows you to set up all of your looks, and then you can switch for free in all big cities. That's a gigantic thing for me, because coming from other games like Guild War 2, where changing the appearance of one item costs things that have to be bought in the cash shop, or things that you own while doing the story, but it comes into a finite amount, so you have to spend money if you want to change your look often, which I do. I like changing looks quite often, so this was not working out for me. So Final Fantasy XIV system is just the thing I needed. I love it. It's great. It's awesome. The only thing I would recommend would be for Square Enix to add more glamour plates, please. 15 is not enough. And also 400 items in the glamour dresser is not enough. If it's anything like my dresser in Animal Crossing, we're gonna have some problems here. Anyway. Also, another good thing about the game is its relaxed pace. You're gonna be spending a lot of times in the game, so things happen at a more relaxed pace. But if you're expecting something to unlock super quickly, you're not gonna enjoy this game, because to get to the end game, you have to play through the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV story, which means you have to play in order all of the game and its many expansions. So you have to go through A Realm Reborn first, and then to Heavensward, and then you hop into Stormblood, and then you finish it up with some Shadowbringers. And if you join us in November, you'll have to go through Endwalker as well. So you have to know that coming in. Also, the community in this game is super wholesome. Sure, there's a bit of a few assholes, but then again, is there any place on the internet where that is not the case? Although I found my experience with the game to be mostly positive pertaining to their community. And so far so good, I have to say. I also enjoy the slow ramp up of the difficulty, so you don't immediately jump into super fucked up mechanics that you have to do perfectly or you explode. It starts as tank and spanks, and then it slowly starts adding dungeons with more and more complicated mechanics. So when you eventually run into the hard stuff, you're ready for it. You played through a lot of things before, so another thing I want to mention, so many side activities. There's so many things you can do in this game that's gonna distract you from actually getting to endgame. There's crafting and gathering. There's deep dungeons. There's a golden saucer for all your gambling enthusiasts. You can spend your time looking after special glamours. You can do older content for the glamours. You can collect pets. It's nuts. You can even have housing, which is instanced. Well, most of it that you'll be able to get. The non-instance housing is pretty much impossible to get now because, well, there's a finite amount. And there's a lot of people on the servers. So anyway, in any event, there's so much things for you to do. So it feels like a good game to invest time in, if it makes any sense. And also, probably one of the best things for people that never played it before, it has a very generous free trial. I know some people make a meme out of it. But a game with a monthly sub that allows you to play not only the base game but one of its expansions without having to pay any monthly fees for as long as you need to get there. That's pretty fucking generous, if you ask me. So if you have not gotten an account yet, I recommend getting through the trial first. That way, once you get to the actual good part of the game, you'll know if it's worth investing money in, for you, at least. That would be my recommendation. But anyway, so that's the good with the game. But it's not a perfect game, not by any stretch of the imagination. So the things that I don't like about it is the fact that it's a very hard game to recommend. Because it only really gets good from Heaven's Word forward. So there's about 50 hours in there that is gonna be very, basic MMO stuff. A story that's a little bit slow to start before it gets the good parts. And, it's hard to recommend because with so many good games these days that start being fun immediately, it's hard to tell someone, oh, stick with it. I swear, once you're 50 hours in, it really gets fun. But that's like almost 3 days of non-stop playing. Keep that in mind before you spend any sizable amount of time in it. Alright, also, if you're a fan of DPS classes, dungeon queues will not be kind to you. Unless you do alliance raids all the time, which have always a need of DPS. Other than that, if you want fast queue times, I recommend using a healer or a tank class. But there's so many different classes, you're bound to find something you enjoy. And also, until the end game, keep in mind that it's an MMO, but it's not like other MMOs. Since you have to go through the main story to unlock everything, you'll spend a lot of your time playing this game, single player, and you'll be joined by your friends at dungeons and raids and trials, peppered through the game story. So, if you want to play with your friends all the time, you're not gonna enjoy this game, at least until you get to the end game. But you can still hang out with your friends in a voice call while you both play through the single player game. And you meet up for dungeons. That's what I did. And it really helps. It really does. Trust me. But yeah. So generally speaking, I really dive back into Final Fantasy XIV. And I feel like by the time I get through the post-expansion content, and by the time I start leveling other classes and having fun with the side activities, and Walker will be upon us. And for once, in my Final Fantasy story, I will not be stuck in the past, working on older content while everybody's enjoying the new expansion. I'll be there on the ground floor, so I'm pretty excited. I'm also very excited to get into the raiding. I never done that in MMOs before, so I'm super excited. I wonder if I'll be a good raider, or if I'm gonna be the guy on the floor, wondering why they suck so much. Anyway. Are you currently playing Final Fantasy XIV? What do you think about it? Please let me know in the comments. And if you have a character on the Genova server, on the Aether data center, please, you should get in touch with us and join our free company, the Starscaper Ironworks. I'm sure you'll have fun. It's a guild we made for me and my friends in their communities. So this should be plenty fun. And if you have not made a character yet, I recommend you make your character in Genova. And if it does not let you do it, my recommendation is create your character, save the appearance, and if it doesn't let you start a character in Genova, just trade them very early in the morning or in the middle of the night. That way, that's when your character creation is usually allowed on Genova. So anyway, that's it for me. I do hope if you do play the game, you'll have as much fun with it as I have so far with it. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit that bell. It really helps. I know it's cliched, but the algorithm on YouTube is no joke. And it's a way for me to actually get in front of some eyeballs for a change. But yeah, thanks again. And remember, tomorrow is a new day. Anything is possible. Take care, and see you soon. Alright, get some distance. I'll get chased by him. Over here. Special thank you to my Patreon executive producer, Unohana. Thank you, Unohana. I appreciate it. Alright, he's coming after me now, so just Godspeed. Are you repairing the one I left, Marek?